viewers are getting younger.
He just told me that, this is just how any parent would show affection.
I didn't know if anyone was going to believe me if I reported it.
It's not easy. You have to go through years and years and years of dealing with yourself.
I'm Jeanette Ampog. I'm the Executive Director of Tarikala. Tarikala is a non-government organization based in Davao City and is working with sexually exploited and abused women and girls since 1987.
I am Marina Francesca Tapia. I am 17 years old, formerly from Ateneo de Davao, but I currently study in LaSalle Green Hills in Manila. I am the founder and president of LOPEZ Youth. It is a youth-led organization that aims to raise awareness about mental health, sexual and domestic violence.
There are many reasons why sexual abuse exists in our country or even in other parts of the world. First is how the community or how the people look at women or children is one reason for abusing them. Like if the men feel powerful over women, and one of the manifestation of showing their strength or virility is by forcing themselves sexually to women. It is all about power. Sexual abuse is a violation of the rights of women over their bodily integrity. So if the man wanted to have a sexual activity with women or women, it should be consensual. There should be a consent. Or else it is violating the rights of women to say no or to consent to have sexual activity. Nobody has the right to force themselves to women, and it is never a right to have sexual activities with women without their consent.
It was an incident that happened with my ex-boyfriend, and my ex-boyfriend, what he did to me was very traumatic, and everything that he did to me, till now, I carry it with me in every relationship that I have, in every contact I have with, especially with men. I have fears. I am anxious when I'm around men, especially those who have sexual advances or sexual intentions. Hindi siya madali, seeing as I am diagnosed with major depressive disorder, bipolar 2 disorder, and post-traumatic stress disorder. But I am finding ways to cope. I have been receiving treatment since October 2019 for my conditions. I have my psychotherapy, I have my medication, and I have a very strong support system, which I am very, glad to have. I am so grateful to have them, my family, my friends. My other coping mechanisms would be, my day-to-day activities, school, and especially my organization, because it's really one of the things that keeps me afloat. It helps me stay motivated and helps me remind myself that I have a purpose, that I have something to do beyond what happened to me. I decided to make an organization because I was in a state of lost. I felt lost, I felt hopeless, and this was around the time that I had a lot of anxieties about the incident that happened to me with my ex-boyfriend, and it just gave me a lot of inspiration, honestly. Like, even though it's a horrible incident, it gave me a lot of inspiration to make this organization because I wanted to spread the message. I wanted to help other people who are facing the same things as myself, and I wanted to raise awareness so that there will be more light shed onto this issue that has been swept under the rug for many years, especially in the Philippine society. When it comes to the topic of sexual abuse, I still get triggered, of course, but being around people who share the same advocacies as myself reminds me that, there's still work to be done. LOPEZ Youth is a youth-led nonprofit organization. I founded it in August 2021, and currently we have about 70 members from all over the Philippines. We are an online organization. We have a few activities, but what we offer mainly is psychological services that are free for both members and non-members. So we have fundraising activities to support these, and for these counseling or consultation services, we have partnered with several guidance counselors and psychologists from all over the Philippines. So these services are free. Victim blaming is a horrible, horrible thing embedded in our culture, and there's absolutely no justification for any sort of abuse, especially sexual, physical, verbal abuse. There's no justification for that. And I went through, I was able to experience this kind of sexual abuse, sexual assault, and I was wearing a school uniform. So there's no reason for anyone to say na baka sa suot mo yan, baka kasi lasing ka, baka kasi pinabayaan mo na mangyari yun sa'yo, because I fought for myself. I was not inebriated. I was not at any position, to be raped, but no one is in any position to be raped at all naman. There's no justification talaga.
To be honest, I don't subscribe to the concept of protecting ourselves from sex offender. The first thing to do is to teach our men, our boys, that forcing themselves to women, to children, is a violation of rights and the law. So we should teach our men, our boys, to respect women, so that when they see a woman wearing sexy clothes, it's not an invitation, using the attire of women as an excuse to rape them, or using the drunkenness of a woman to take advantage of the woman. They will think it's not an invitation to abuse them. Second, if we want to protect ourselves from sexual offenders or predators, we should know our rights as women, as young women, as children, that you have the right to say no when somebody wanted to have sexual activity with them. If you don't want to, if you have the opportunity, learn basic self-defense. Second is to know the situation where there's a possibility that you will be sexually abused. So if you know that this situation will put you at risk to be abused by men sexually, then get out from that situation.
It's gaslighting. It's spinning the issue, making it look like it's your fault, making it seem like ikaw yung may mali, even though if you are a victim of, or a survivor rather, of abuse, you really did nothing wrong to deserve. You did nothing to deserve any of that kind of treatment. I think that instances like this, they require extensive help from older people, like mga adults who could really help, especially in a legal sense and in a medical sense. So professionals and family, of course, they would be very helpful. It was really hard for me to open up, especially to my parents, kasi ulit-ulit nila akong sinabihang lumayo na ako, and they didn't know na, they only knew about one incident, but they didn't know about the 2 years worth of incidents of abuse, sexual, physical, mental, verbal abuse that I went through. So being there in front of my parents, I couldn't tell them na, that's not the only thing that happened, kasi lalo, there's also that fear na baka papagalitan ako ng parents. So it was really hard for me. That's why I faced it all on my own, and I endured the 2 years until finally one day I just decided na I'm not gonna take this kind of treatment anymore. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't just one and done. Pag sinabi kong ayaw ko na, it took me about a few months to finally escape my abuser, even though we were broken up. Yeah, I felt like it was my fault. I felt like hinayaan kong nangyari. And I was manipulated into thinking that. But now, if another thing I would tell my younger self, or myself at that age, at that time that it happened, is it's not your fault. It never was, never is, never will be. And you did nothing wrong.
It's sad to note that the victim is the one who feel guilty most of the time. They're the one who are sexually abused, and yet they're the one who feel guilty of what happened, because some women, some girls, some victims have thought that they brought the situation on themselves. They're the reason why they are being raped or they were being sexually harassed. It is very unfortunate that a lot of victims are experiencing such feeling, and that's one of the reasons that they remain silent and they don't disclose what happened to them in the hands of other people. So if you feel that you are sexually violated, if you experience being sexually abused, then go to a person you trusted and tell what happened, because it is one step towards seeking help on the abuses that you have experienced. So don't feel ashamed, don't feel embarrassed, don't feel guilty, don't blame yourself, because the one who is at fault in this situation is the person who abused you.
I would advise them to find a way to get help, because personally I wasn't able to get help. I fought for myself for so long. It took me 2 years to get out of that abusive and manipulative relationship. But if in any way that I could help these people, or my organization could help these people, or anyone else could help survivors, then they need to get help immediately, and we have to put a stop to this issue.
Just share your story. Speak out, no? So break the silence of the abuses that you have experienced. I know it's very painful, and I cannot speak about the pain, no, because the pain is yours, no. The victim's pain is hers or his, at hindi ko yun maabot, at hindi ko yun totally maintindihan how deep it is, or how deep is the trauma. But may mga taong nakakaintindi kung ano may yung pinagdadaanan natin. May mga tao na pwedeng tumulong, from the government, from the NGO, from the church, from the school. Just reach out, just extend your hand, and there will be a helping hand ready to guide you, to assist you, kung ano man yun. At saka, who will journey you on all the process that you are going through, like yung iiyak ka, may sasama sa'yo. Kung gusto mong magpa-check up, may sasama sa'yo. Kung magpa-blatter sa pulis, may sasama. At saka eventually, doon sa pagbabalik ng dignidad na nawala sa'yo dahil naabuso ka. So, at the end of the day, it's your decision who will be prevail on this matter. Ang pwede lang magawa ng mga tao na gustong tumulong sa'yo ay umalalay, no? Maraming mga hotline numbers na pwedeng matawagan kung gusto mo maging anonymous muna. But at the end of the day, I will tell you, it will not define who you are. No, the abuse that you experience will not define who you are. What will define you is how you pick yourself after the abuse that you had experienced.
There's way more than that to life. If you're a victim, if you're a survivor, I like to call these people survivors and not victims. If you're a survivor, there's so much more hope for you to live life beyond these incidents.